Thank you and good afternoon to all. Welcome to the Liberian Diaspora Forum, a very special edition. And tonight we have the privilege of hosting my own father, my role model, Honorable Sheikh Kafumba. Sheikh Kafumba, as we all know, probably the reason why many of you came tonight is knowing the fact that he's a former commissioner of the Liberian Truth and Reconciliation Commission. He's a Liberian Muslim authority who has long record of conflict resolution and peace building effort throughout major civil and military conflicts in Liberia. In addition to his theological achievements, the Sheikh studies scholar law through apprenticeship. He has several positions in civil service, including Justice of the Peace, Associate, Stipendiary, Magistrate, and County Commissioner of Nimba County of his birth. He has served as Secretary General and Managing Director of the Liberian Muslim Union, in addition to serving as Secretary General and National Chairman of the Muslim Council of Liberia. What I do like to say, Sheikh profile is endless, as many of you know, but it's important to note that the Sheikh has joined us tonight to talk about one thing only, one thing at a time. The subject under discussion tonight will be TRC, the Liberian Truth and Reconciliation Commission, a commission of which Sheikh was a member of. That is what he's come to talk about. So if you have other issues, other questions concerning other things that he's been involved in the past, I suggest you keep those for a later appearance, possibly. But tonight we want to keep the conversation right on TRC. So we have Sheikh here with us already, and I'm trying to work hard here to send him additional minute. I will now turn the floor over to him so that he may begin his brief introduction. My name is Kafumba, as always, and I'm your host. Sheikh, I'll leave the floor for you to begin your introductory remark, and then we have a lot of callers here. And shortly after that, we'll begin entertaining questions. Welcome to the Liberian Diaspora Forum, Sheikh Kone.
Thank you very much. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم محمد بن Abdullah وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبع سبيله. As I have been introduced, Sheikh Kafumba F. Kone, a Muslim who was privileged to participate in the various peace conferences held as a result of our civil conflicts, and most importantly, the comprehensive peace agreement between the governments of Liberia, the Liberians United for Reconciliation and Democracy, the Movement for Democracy in Liberia, and the political parties within the Republic of Liberia. I know it will interest you to know that as a Muslim, my first constitution was the Quran, and it commands as thus, Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu kunu qawamina bil qisti شهداء ولو على أنفسكم أو الوالدين أو والأقربين إن يكن غنيا أو فقيرا فالله أولى بهما فلا تتبعوا الهوى أن تعدلوا واتقوا وتعرضوا فإن الله كان بما تعملون خبيرا. Again, he says, يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يغفر لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. These two verses of the Holy Quran tells us that no matter what the circumstance is, we should stand firmly tall for justice, whether it is concerning our parents, our kinsmen, whether it relates to rich or the poor. Allah is more closer to all of them than we do. And if we have problem and we want that problem to be solved, we should fear God and speak strictly the truth, and Allah will facilitate our work and will forgive our sin. Our target in Ghana and in the previous conferences was to bring peace to Liberia. And nothing could help us in that direction but to speak the truth. So it is during that conference that the Constitution, 1986 Constitution of Liberia, was suspended, and the Comprehensive Peace Agreement was, by and large, the constitution of the conflict resolution of Liberia. And it is in that Accra Agreement that it was agreed that there should be a Truth and Reconciliation Commission instead of a War Crime Tribunal. So it is on the basis of that we participated in the TRC work in Liberia. And when the decision was contrary, the majority came out with a decision contrary to the Constitution and to the law of this republic, to the oath that we took. I was compelled to come out with a dissenting opinion. So this is what I can say in the introduction, and I'm open for any other question.
Thank you, Sheikh. Thank you. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation to speak to our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. Folks, there are so many of you that have called in tonight as I expected, and so you've just heard the Sheikh. Now this is your turn. If you have any question, comment, or concern, by all means, please dial *61 on your phone, and I'll open up your line so that you may ask your question. If you can't get through that way, if you happen to be at work and you can't talk, please text your question to 612-203-3820. If that doesn't work either, you may email your question to Liberian Diaspora Forum at live.com. All of those questions will get to me. With that said, I got a lot of questions lined up already. We'll begin in the order that they will receive. 1873, 1373, would you please tell us your name, where you're calling from, and your question for Sheikh Corner, 1873.
Brother Kumar, thank you so much for taking my call. Let me say to the Sheikh, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, Abdullah.
Okay, this is Sayan Yauna from Brooklyn Park. Thank you so much for bringing our call, because the host said we get so many calls. I want to be respectful and go straight to the point. First, let me thank you so much, sir, for your services to Liberia. As a boy growing up, I follow your work and want to thank you so much for what you do for Liberia. Whether good or bad, we must always acknowledge people for the little services they provided to our country. So for that, I say God bless you for your work.
Thank you, God.
I get two quick questions. One, first, could you please explain further what is the main reason for your descendants, from the TRC document, for not signing the document? I think you kind of touched on it, but you didn't elaborate. So this question should give the opportunity to explain more, because we really want to know why you and Pearl Boo, but you don't speak for Pearl Boo, she isn't here, but please speak for yourself, the Honorable Sheikh and Kafumba, why did you descend? And furthermore, my second question will be, how does it contravene your introductory remark when you quoted beautifully from the Quran that no matter what, try to paraphrase, no matter what, the Quran asks us to stand up for justice. So how do you reconcile the two, your introductory statement and your own descendant? Why? So why did you descend? Thank you so much for taking my call, Brother Kuma. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I dissented because the procedure that was put together, the rules of procedures that we put together as commissioners before the hearings and then our recommendations compiled were contravened perhaps because of personal reasons by the chairman and some of the commissioners. And we in Liberia, we claim to be religious, but morality is lacking in our society. In Islam, whether you take oath or not, you are mandated according to the verses of the Holy Quran that we have just read to you, that we should speak the truth, no matter what the situation is. And there are rules and procedures that we put together, how the hearings will be conducted, how the parties will be allowed to give statements, to cross exams, and these procedures were not followed. Truth and Reconciliation Commission is more religious oriented than secularly oriented, because in the secular court, you are told not to make a statement, and whatever statement you make will be used against you. And in Truth and Reconciliation work, you are asked to speak the truth, and then after speaking the truth, your problem will be looked into and reconciled. So, in other words, speak the truth, and you will be saved by that truth. So, when we were selected on the basis of Section 11 of Article 5 of the TRC Act, and it reads as, members of the TRC shall be persons in good health. That is the first condition. Of credibility, the second condition. High integrity and honor, the third condition. Not known or perceived as human rights violators or members of group involved in human rights violation. That's number 4. And without prior conviction for a crime. As a whole, the commission shall be balanced representative of Liberian society, perceived as impartial in its collectivity, and of the various professional and regional backgrounds. Upon appointment, Commissioner shall renounce their membership of political parties. So, the reasons why, because I was one of the drafters of this TRC Act, this clause was put there, was that there is no single person in Liberia that was not affected adversely by the war, including myself. I lost more than 100 persons, including my first son, my only sister by my empire, my father-in-law's son, my uncles and all his entire family. So I was affected. But my obligation, my oath was that I will protect and defend the Constitution and the law of the Republic of Liberia. And that I will faithfully discharge my duty as commissioner. And anything against that oath is notwithstanding. That was the reason why I went against. And I did not compromise in the justice. I had to sustain justice.
Thank you.
I hope I give you the answer.
Yeah, well, thank you. We'll take that off the last caller, Senior. If for some reason As always, you are more than welcome to make a follow-up entry to ask a follow-up question, but we have to leave it there for now and take other callers. If you're just joining us, and I know so many of you have just joined us, we want to welcome you to a very special edition of the Liberian Diaspora Forum. Our program usually airs on Sunday. This is the very first time, as a matter of fact, that we've had one on Saturday, and that's because we have a very special guest with us, Honorable Sheikh Kafumba, former commissioner of the TRC, and he's here precisely to talk about the TRC report. I'll take the second caller, 7867. 7867, please tell us your name, where you're calling from, and your question for Sheikh Kone.
Okay, my name is Musa M. Keita. I'm calling from Rochester, Minnesota. Sheikh Kafumba Kone, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Okay, as you just explained in your introductory statement, which was very interesting, and having listened keenly, I deduce from you that what was meant about the TRC was not in a conclusive analysis. My first concern is, was there some arm twisting from the upper hand? Because even the TRC did not have money to conduct this hearing. And one who pays the higher is likely to influence the outcome of a decision or of a process. That's the first concern I have for you. Was there some arm twisting at the end of the day? Two, in your own mind, like you rightly said that we all were affected one way or the other. Is there any way that we can go forward as a country without justice, even though we have heard? Because I cannot imagine somebody saying that the case 200 person with voodoo, and the man who killed with AK 5 person, the man is considered a war criminal, and the man who say he killed 200 person with voodoo, and the AK that he used did not mention how many person he killed with the AK, but rather with voodoo. That person was being considered excused and not being placed on the category of a war criminal to be prosecuted. Don't you think that we need justice along with the reconciliation we're talking about? That's my second question, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Keita. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Keita. You know, justice is relative. Justice, restorative justice, or retributive justice. One of the things that we did before hearing was to take statements from the Liberian populace, particularly the affected people. We asked them whether they would like to have a retributive justice against the so-called perpetrators. I said so-called perpetrators because it was alleged, and those who were accused and they wanted to come and cross-examine the witness were denied the opportunity. And the reason of direct examination, cross-examination, and clarified examination are threefold. The direct examination is to remind the witness on the stand if he or she has forgotten anything during the general testimony or did not explain in detail. You give direct examination. The cross-examination is the one that is accused will have the opportunity to cross-examine the witness on the stand so as to discredit his testimony. Those people were not permitted to do it, even though they have the desire of examining. And then the clarified examination. That is the hearing, the judge, the presiding officers on the case. There are some issues that were not clarified in order to better place them in a position of making an impartial decision. That should be allowed. The crucial part of cross-examination were denied. Despite the fact that we called them to do it. So, and to the victims were asked, and more than 50% of the victims said they will go along with restorative justice. So, restorative justice benefits not only the victims, but even the perpetrator, because the perpetrators will be given the opportunity for correction and rehabilitation. And the victims will be reparated.
Okay.
I hope you got the answer.
Yeah, we did. Thank you, Chef. Thank you. I got so many people online here, and just as many questions as I have. Before I take the next caller, though, Chef, I'd like to know quickly. We've spoken to many people, many prominent, quote unquote, prominent government officials on this show. One of whom happened to be Senator Joy Howard Taylor, Senator Groupie, and what I noticed is that the reason we're talking about TRC report not being implemented so far, for the most part, we've been told that it's only because of one little clause within the report, which has to do with the 30 years ban on certain people from political activity. How did that part came to be in the report? How was that 30 years, thing reached? How was that agreement reached? Why not 5? Why not 10? And
that 30 years was manipulated by the chairman and his co-hosts on that, but it was never discussed during the preliminary hearing, during the full-fledged hearing, during the discussion of the whole matter, but was done after we have written our dissenting opinion, and they came out with that. And it was never part or parcel of the TRC Act. So it was outside the purview of the TRC law. That's number one. Number two, there is not only because of that clause, because of local prejudice, some members of the commissioners, including the chairman, decided that the legislature cannot verify or ratify the recommendations of the TRC is a law by itself. And our Republican system talks about 3 branches of government. The legislature, they're responsible to make law. The executive, that enforce the law. The judiciary, that interpret the law. If the TRC are clothed with the authority of making decision or making law, that it cannot be reviewed by any other, then it has become a 4 branches of government. The TRC recommendation is stated in the act that it should be submitted to the legislature, and the purpose for that is for the legislature to ratify and make it as a law. Now, how will you bind somebody for 30 years that there's no provision in the Constitution, there's no statutory law, there's no common law from the Supreme Court of Liberia, and where are you getting that law from? That 30 years was not the case, was not the only case, because people were denied those rights that they are entitled to due process of law. And when due process of law was not applied, and you try to punish people before they are heard.
Okay. Thank you, Sheikh. If I may add, it's been said that 30 years, in fact, contravenes the Constitution of Liberia. That's what many of our previous guests have said, though I have yet to verify that. I'll take the next caller, 9271. 9271. Would you please tell us your name, where you're calling from, and your question for Sheikh Connie? 9271.
Yeah, Sheikh, this is George Toto. I'm calling from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks, Sheikh, for coming on the show. I just have two concerns if you can address for me. The first concern, your opening statement, you were talking about the Constitution was during the Ghana peace accord. The Constitution was suspended to accommodate the TRC. Now, if the Constitution was suspended to give rise to the TRC, why would the TRC report be governed by the same old Constitution that was suspended? And my next concern is, my next concern is, you were a member of the commission. I trust I have a very high integrity for you. I've been following your work in Liberia since 1990 in the Bureau Peace Accord. With all these things that are going on the TRC about people not following some of the basic rules of the Accord, why did he come out to enlighten the Liberian about the situation that was going on with the TRC before the report could be made public to Liberian people?
Thank you, Mr. Taylor.
Well, the first thing was not the entire Constitution of the Republic of Liberia was suspended. There were certain provisions within the Constitution that were suspended, like the establishment of the interim government. You know, a president is supposed to be elected, but the provision for electing a president was suspended. And the president is supposed to be given that constitutional power to appoint cabinet minister. And we changed from president to chairman so that it can be seen that it is not following the cadence of the Constitution. Appointment of cabinet minister was done by allotting positions to the various warring factions, political parties, and interest groups. So those, but the principle of the Constitution, like what contains in Chapter 1, Chapter 2, and Chapter 3, were never suspended. Yes, that's the answer to the other one. Then, what was the second question?
The second question was, if you knew that things were not on track, why did you not enlighten the Liberian people? Yeah.
Like I said to you, when we were commissioned, we discussed, we agree unanimously that there should be, in addition, because the Act gave her the right to put in place rules and procedures. We agreed that there should be additional rules and procedures, and we put these rules and procedures together. And one of the things that we said in these rules of procedure is that we will decide we will make our decision on consensus. In the absence of consensus, then by majority. We agreed to that. But we said anything that is in contravention of the Constitution is notwithstanding. It's anything that is inconsistent with the Constitution of Liberia is notwithstanding, because the TRC was established when the Constitution has been restored. Then we agreed, after putting all these things, we were together. We look into the matter, we hear everything until the last minute when we were discussing our decision, our ruling, our recommendations. We started arguing among ourselves. Are we to make decision or recommendation? And it's our recommendation reviewable by the legislature. Those are things that we discuss among ourselves, and this agreement began to ensure. The 30 years clause came about. Where this came from? Do we have law to back ourselves? No, we don't have law to back ourselves. So the question was, during the decision making, that was the time. And even if you read, I'm sorry to show to you that the commissioners, who the chairman and his co-hosts were completely, we came out with a, in fact, on the 23rd of July, 2007, the entire commissioners, with the exception of Umu Sila and the chairman Virgil, we came out with a decision, and we came out with a consign in which we said that the chairman was doing everything by himself. That was done on the 23rd of July, 2007. And when the draft, because we retained a lawyer to draft the findings and recommendation of the article, and the legal advisor Jeremy Levitt, who was asked to draft the document, he came out to say that everything that was done, there's a provision for RTAC, International, the Act gives us the right to have a lawyer that would be an advisory committee, and we have equal right in the discussion. We will not vote. So that letter, the email sent to him on January 9, 2009, to the chairman, clearly indicates that whatever that was discussed, he unilaterally changed those things. Sure. And when even we have to take the chairman to Supreme Court before he could even allow to receive our dissenting opinion. But when they went to print it, he and somebody went to Ghana, they seriously removed our finding and recommendation. Otherwise, even in Supreme Court, when a dissenting opinion is written by a justice or a minority justices of the Supreme Court, that dissenting opinion is supposed to be an integral part of the Supreme Court opinion. So normally, dissenting report or opinion supposed to be an integral part of the report itself. So it will give the people the opportunity to weigh the two sides and then know who was right or who was wrong. But they deliberately refused to do so because of fear that their action will be exposed.
Thank you, Sheikh. We'll take the next caller. Folks, if you're just joining us, we have Sheikh Kafumba calling on, and he's speaking on TRC report why he disagree with the final report. If you have question, comment, or concern, please dial *61. And now that I got any shortage of questions today, I got too many of them as a matter of fact. And Sheikh, I just sent you additional minutes, so we should be very good there. I've just sent you additional minute to your phone. The next caller is 3756-3756, a wireless caller. Please tell us your name, where you're calling from, and your question for Sheikh Tony. 3756.
Oh, my name is Vazali Woloba. I'm calling from Rhode Island.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me. My question to the former chairman.
A former commissioner. He was not a chairman. Correct.
Okay, former commissioner.
I was not a chairman.
Yeah.
Okay, former commissioner.
Okay.
Yeah, former commissioner. Thank you for the clarification. As you stated, you stand up based on the oath and based on the religious background that you believe justice needed to be served, and you believe justice was not in the interest of the TRC report. Okay. This is my question to you, sir. If you think the TRC report was not in the right interest of the Liberian people, what recommendation that if you were the chairman could have made to the Liberian people so that we could be satisfied and be happy that justice would be served for our people who were killed, our brothers and mothers, sisters that were killed?
Okay. Is that your question? So what recommendation could he have made? Is that a question?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Sure.
Thank you. It may interest you to know that no one, no historian, no academians appear before us and say there was no justification for war in Liberia. That's the first thing. When April 14 took place, people felt that there was reason for that demonstration. When April 12 took place, people felt there was reason. When November 12 incident took place, people felt there was reason. So you have two kinds of civil war: the just war and the unjust war. And because the war was just, but the way it was executed, there were violations of human rights. This is why the Act provides the opportunity to look into the matter, search out those who violated human rights, identify them, and then recommend. And you see what the TRC did? Was the armed forces of Liberia as an institution. The entire armed forces itself was recommended for human rights violation. From 1847 to 2003, all governments that came to be were recommended for violation of the human rights. The national police were recommended for violation. The SSS, the FBI, all the security authorities were all recommended collectively. Armed forces of a nation is there to fight, protect, defend the nation, and especially when the nation is attacked, is invaded. Now, if you accept such judgment, and then another war or another invasion come about, what do you expect the soldiers to do? They will fold their arms and said, we are not going to do anything because we will be held for violations of human rights. So, those are some of the things that cause us to say, look, we can't sign this kind of document because it's prejudicial, it's partial, it's a violation of the Constitution. I hope you get me clear.
Yeah, we'll do, sure. Thank you. You're loud and clear. Now, I'm going to go a little bit, violate the order in which I'm taking questions here. I got one, someone has made entry from Liberia, to ask question. Out of courtesy for calling from far away, let me take this person and I'll go back to the order in which your questions came in. It's Ali Sila. would you please tell us where you're calling from? Well, I've said Liberia, right? My bad. Well, just for the benefit of the audience, would you please tell us where you're calling from and your question for Sheikh Connie?
Well, thank you very much, Kafumba. My name is Ali Sila. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. I have one concern, but before that, I'd just like to lay the premise that I'm coming from. And those of you who are listening across America will say, thank you very much, Kafumba. You've been doing very well. Thank you also. To be frank with you, we are in a stage of peace building. Liberia since 2003, with UME coming to Liberia, that was the process of peacekeeping. So UME was here to stabilize the peace. And then the Comprehensive Peace Accord, the CPA from Ghana in 2003, came up with the TRC, which of course is supposed to be part and parcel of the peacekeeping process, with their work supposed to take us in the reparation framework, which of course that we call peacekeeping or peace building. But now the TRC came about. Before that, I'd just like to say I was one of the persons who was invited to do the open hearing testimony of the TRC in Minnesota sometime in 2008, if I'm mistaken. But now we are in the form of peace building, because most of your recommendations talk about reparation, talk about working with young people, building institutions for the young people to capacitate them, creating jobs, having face-to-face dialogue, mediation with grievances, building institutions for justice. But we are in Liberia now. All of the recommendations of the TRC, all of the recommendations in terms of reparation, only one been implemented, which is the Independent National Human Rights Commission, which of course that is underfunded based on their functions and their deliverables. So I think my question to Sheikh now is that since Sheikh was part of that body that made all of these recommendations, are you happy? Because all of those recommendations were supposed to sustain the peace, supposed to pay reparation for victims and perpetrators. But we've been almost going to 4 years now after the TRC since 2009.
Okay. So what's the question again?
Okay. So my question is, all of the work that was done, because to be frank with you, we still don't have justice in Liberia. To be frank with you, there's many injustices. The TRC talked about balance in terms of regional, political,
so all of the work that was done,
all of the things, all of the work. Are you happy with what is happening in the country right now?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. In the first place, Mr. Kumar, I have no objection of anybody calling from any part of the world. I want to ask you, whether Liberia, outside Liberia, everywhere, if they have the opportunity to call, I'm prepared to give the answer that I think I should. Well, the question that you gave, I can say I'm in Liberia with a mixed feelings. Feeling that there are progress and feeling that there are shortcomings. But it is understandable. The reparation we talk about institutional reparation and community reparation. No nation, even America, was not able to give individual reparation. We went to South Africa, where people are saying that we should, many countries say now, just pick the model of South Africa. Those who think that they were given reparation still be satisfied. So no nation in the world has been able to adequately give a reparation. This is why it is important that you should try to get a copy of my dissenting report and read them. I make 7 recommendations. 7 recommendations that I've made that should if that was the one that we applied, could have helped us to reach where we are. But you know, you, Ali, as Muslim, the Quran tells us, "La yukallifullahu nafsan illa wus'aha." Allah does not compel people to do what is beyond your reach. And those recommendations that contains in the report, some of them have been implemented, some are not. Some are still yet be implemented. But the recommendations that are made are to be taken into consideration. First of those recommendations was social diversity. We in Liberia must agree that Liberia is composed of multi-religious, multicultural, and multi-tribal society. We must accept that. The second recommendation was line. That without line, nobody has home. Nobody can have a place to rest and so forth. So, equitable distribution of line should be given, should be made. That was the number 3. Education. We talk about industrial and vocational education to be introduced, quality education for our children. Today, the President herself said the Ministry of Education is a mess. So, that educational aspect has not been done. And of course, the salaries of the teachers have been raised, something that has given the private schools operators a problem in their schools. But yet, with all the problems, they are providing quality education for their people. Then the 4th recommendation was political system. What kind of political systems will we establish that will bring security, freedom, happiness, and survival for all Liberians? Then the 5th recommendation was economic recovery. Everybody knows that the war impoverished every member of the Liberian society. And the government taxation should be reduced, should be affordable, and people should be given the opportunity to recover. Of course, this has not been done. Then the 6th recommendation was legal system. Our legal system should be reflective of the true culture, of the true belief systems of our society. It should not be a westernized law, foreign law, imposed on the Liberian people. No. Those were some of the recommendations we made in our dissenting report. And if those things were included in the report, people were going to see something to it. So I'm happy that at least for the day the Accra Comprehensive Accord was signed, up to where we sit, there has been no single gun firing, there have been no killing by warring factions in the country. I'm happy that people are given freedom to express their view. I'm happy. But I'm not happy because up to now, that American Liberian and indigenous Liberian syndrome continue to be practiced both in government and outside government. I would like to see the young people be in power first and foremost rather than giving their job without being qualified for it. Then it will be worse than nepotism, because it would be favoritism. And it would despoil the children if you give them job without training. I'm not happy because there is corruption. But when people talk about corruption in Liberia, they think they only talk about in government. I was telling some people, corruption is in every family. The first corruption that it has become non-normal that adultery or fornication is no more prohibited law in Liberia. A girl and a boy will live together, a man and a woman will live together without marriage. They will born child or children, and those children will grow up, and then when they became populated or mature, they will participate in their parents' marriage. Why are you indoctrinating in your children that they too can live and cohabitate together as husband and wife without marriage? So, giving immorality declaration against morality. I think I have given some answer to that.
All right, sure. We'll leave it there. We'll take the next caller here. If you're just joining us, welcome to the Liberian Diaspora Forum, very special Saturday edition. We have Sheikh Kafumba calling from million miles away to talk to us about his work on the TRC. I'll take the next caller, 6844-6844. Please tell us your name, where you're calling from, and your question for Sheikh Kone, 6844.
Hello.
Hello.
Is it 66?
Yeah, it's you, 6844. Yeah, Daniel. Yeah.
This is Prof. Mahana. Dr. Conan, welcome to the forum, and you continue to make a viable contribution to our country, and I'm extremely pleased about this conversation. One of the things I want your comment on is whether the makeup of the members of the commission, in your view, was it geographically balanced or county-wise or ethnically balanced for the level of destruction that took place, and in order to get a better outcome with better quality of decisions, was it geographically or ethnically balanced or tribally balanced? That's number one. Number two, if the mission was mandated to get the facts and follow the South African model, despite the fact that all the destruction that took place in South Africa, the black Africans did not ask for, some type of punitive sanction against your brothers. Why did the rest of the commission have it so wrong that you are the only one or two who are right now trying to educate us on why there's a variance in your position and the rest of the commission? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The first question was what?
The first question, whether the commission was geographically balanced or...
okay. And it was not ethnically or geographically balanced. And that was because the number of commissioners that were needed. You got 16 tribes in Liberia. And you talk about 9 commissioners. And when you talk about geographical balance, it was somehow, because Liberia is divided into 4 zones, and each of the zones were represented. And so I can see that was not within the purview of the government at the time to get people from every ethnic balance. And you know, in some county, you have 2, 3, 4, 5 tribes belong to that one county. So if you talk about geographical representation, if one of the 5 or 6 or 7 tribes taken and recommended, it constitutes a geographical representation. And I don't want to say what the other people, what they went on. Everybody got his own perception. You know, people may come from one womb, but they will not think alike, will not talk alike, will not act alike. But for me, as a Muslim who believe that even if I escape this worldly life, punishment of this worldly life, I will appear before the judgment seat of God and will answer questions on every utterance I made and every act I made. So I was concerned about my future in this life and the life to come. And therefore I decided never to be carried away. I've never been carried away by the whims and caprices of people, and I will not allow, after I have spent the best part of my life, for anybody again to use me to accommodate their whims. And it may interest you to know that my position is being admired today. It's been applauded today that yes, he was right to do that. One of the things that, in fact, really makes up, because the rationale behind the TRC commission was to make sure that there is national unity, peace, security, and happiness. And this is why the mandate given to TRC says, the preamble of the mandate, the objectives, purpose of the commission shall be to promote national peace, security, unity, and reconciliation by doing these things. And if you read the preamble of the Act, you have 13 counts of the preamble. The word reconciliation was repeated 11 times. And the word retributive justice was only stated one time.
We've lost the chef. I just saw his number went down. I sure hope he got the credit I sent him, but he just left the line. We're gonna. We'll hope that he'll make a quick comeback. I'll give him a minute or two to see if he does return. Otherwise, I'll make a follow-up call here. But if the number just dropped, just left the queue, so he's off the line right now. Please bear with us. As is always the case, when people call you from out of the country, we do experience this kind of thing. So, but I'm sure he's trying to make a comeback. Stay with us. Let me call him to make sure he got the credit I sent him. I've sent him plenty of credit already. While we are waiting, let me open up some of the people in the queue here. Let me open up Say Online. Very much opposite view. Rasia?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, welcome for, I can't say your follow-up question because I don't have the guest. I'm trying to get the guest back on, so please bear with me.
No, I appreciate it, sir. I appreciate it.
All right, Sheikh is back with us. Sheikh, Connor?
Yeah.
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 So I'll just calling you to see. So did you get a credit?
Yeah, I have the credit.
Okay. I've done it. Yeah, I've done it twice now. A total of so I've done it twice, so it should be a lot. Well, thank you for coming back. I knew you come back. I was just telling my audience here. So I'd like to thank you, the audience, for sticking with us while we waited the Sheikh return. So we'll go back to the orders in which your questions were received. 4721 4721. Your question for Sheikh Corner. Please tell us your name, where you're calling from, your question.
Kafumba, thanks for taking my call. My name is Lucene Sakar, and I'm calling from Minnesota. Sheikh, thanks for coming to the show. When during the process, during the entire TRC process, did you decide not to sound a report? By the way, I didn't listen to all of the introduction, so forgive me if you already answered this question. But when did you decide not to sound a report? How do you go through the entire process and then at the end of the process and then refuse to sign a report? Do you have a specific reason for not signing a report, or was it because of the internal fight that you guys are having among yourselves? And I also have another follow-up question, if the moderator can let me ask that right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
The second question, during the TRC process, the TRC talk about peace and reconciliation. In recent time, we have here some fellow Liberians doing some crusade that might eventually bring about conflict or that does not work towards peace. Talking about making Liberia a Christian state or keeping Liberia as a Christian nation, quote unquote. You have a Muslim leader.
Hold on, listen here. You're right. You were not here from the beginning. That is obviously another controversial, hot-button topic, but I, as a moderator, decided that we're going to keep those out of it, at least certainly now for this appearance. I know we've had some guests on here, including Joy Howard, still advocating for that. But we want to keep this show on the TRC report tonight, if you don't mind. As far as Christian Knights in Liberia, all of that, I know Sheikh will be in the perfect position to answer that, but we want to focus this tonight's show on the TRC report, if you don't mind.
Okay, yeah, that's I respect that.
All right.
Yeah, so when during the process do you decide not to sign a report? Thank you.
That's good. Thank you, Rosako. Sheikh, so at one point,
yeah, my answer was that at the last minute, because we did the statement takings, we did the statement reviews, we did the hearings, we were all moving together. Then, when it comes to compiling of the report and discussing the report, There were delay tactics used. There were some secrecies. Until the last week, before the document were made available to us to discuss. And we told them, how can you have documents like they discuss? Nevertheless, we try our possible best, and we discover that there was contraventions of the generally accepted principle of human rights, for which we were asked to advocate, to lay a foundation, to become an example for others. And because in every democratic society, there is freedom of expression, freedom of opinion, freedom of thought, freedom of religion, we did not remain silent. We reduced into writing our dissenting opinion and present it to the chairman of the commission and ask that it should be an integral part of the report so that you will be given the opportunity. Those who were not there will be given the opportunity to know why we dissented. But they refused because they were under the fear that if it is attacked and our is read, it would taint their work with suspicion and mistrust.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Sheikh. We'll leave it. We'll take that. My next caller is 2919, Jim Lassa, I believe. 2919, would you please confirm your name, where you're calling from, and your question for Sheikh Connie? 2919.
Yeah, Mr. Kafumba, thank you. This is Lassa. I have one question for Brother Kafumba from Morovia. But, Mr. Moderator, before I proceed, I just want to register my complete displeasure with the way you conducted one of your shows recently, on which you had some parties of the ULA crisis, and I came on.
Let's see. Can we talk this later?
I want to make
we can't hold the entire show because of your complaint about me. So that show was done several months ago. You got my number. Call me and let's discuss it.
I do not have that number. It's not 7 months ago. It's 2 weeks ago.
Okay, yeah, but let's address. We got someone calling from a million miles away just to be with us. I think that's a lot more important than myself right now. I promise you, I'll text you my number right now. But go ahead with your question for the check. Yeah.
I have to proceed, but I don't see that as being very professional. I will proceed, but that's not professional. Okay?
Go ahead with your question for the check. I'll text you my number right now, and then you can call me later. Just your question for check.
Okay, I appreciate that. Yeah, Mr. Kafumba Kone, this is Lazar James. I'm not sure whether you know me by name. I guess if you had met me in person, you might recognize me. I grew up on the McDonald Street, where I grew up seeing you and your family for much of the time there. I have a lot of respect for you. Greatly respect you, Shaka Kone and Molly Kone and all the people across the rural McDonald Street. I've also got to admire the way you put yourself in much of the public issues that you get engaged in. Regarding the TRC issue, I really have hesitation to buy into your argument, but that has not made me to really lose any inch of respect I have for you. Now, regarding the TRC report, I heard you in response to one of the questions asking where would the other TRC members have taken the power from to deprive people of political engagement for 30 years? Why should they, stop people and all the kinds of things? And I felt burdened. I've always felt that I could withhold this information. But for information, Mr. Sheikh Kafumba Kone, that as an elected member of the Liberian legislature in 1997, the current president was part of the Accra peace process, in which those of us who were duly elected, democratically elected, were debarred, were banned from taking part in the political process because the current leader and others were coming to take part, and they didn't want others who were incumbent to take part. and that certainly was a disqualification, or at least unconstitutional against us. But she was not only a part of the framework of that law, she benefited because she took part in the process. At that point, we certainly could have made a point that was unconstitutional, but we certainly recognized at the time, the need for peace. You understand, the need for peace in our country. So that doesn't seem to be so much a high price to be paid if one will be doing so in view of the blood that has been shed in our country. That shouldn't sound so big. Why should people be deprived from taking part in the political process? Given the lives that have been sacrificed, especially at the behest of the very beneficiaries in the process, that shouldn't be a question. Now, my question to you, Mr. Sheikh Kafumba, is it doesn't seem like there is any provision in the law that brought the TRC into existence that all members must have had to unanimously agree on decision before the decision will hold. If there was any provision, I guess you would have established that as a basis for your abstention and as a basis or the basis for which you have continued to propagate against the implementation of the TRC report. So given that, it seems like that's the reason apparently you are referring to your religion and other things. With all due respect, there are Christians and Muslims in Liberia, but we have to operate based on the law, based on the principles. And so if the TRC was based on the law.
Mr. James, I don't want to have to leave by impression on you again. You've been on for a while now, so can you go to your question and sum up your comments?
Yes. Thank you. So, Sheikh Kafumba, is there any reason why your disagreement with the decision of the TRC report should be a basis for your continuous propagation against the implementation of the TRC report as a member instead of advocating for the implementation? Because we need peace. All in all, we need peace. And there's no peace in Liberia. That's cosmetic. We need peace. In the
Thank you. We'll have to leave it there. Thank you. Is there, Sheikh, that's a comment if you care to comment on.
Thank you. I am not proper getting or advocating against the implementation of the TRC report. I am advocating against implementing things that will instead heal the wounds, reconcile the differences, reunify the Liberian people for the greatest task of reconstruction. We want peace, we want harmony, and this is what we are advocating for. And if you were deprived of your right during the holding of the conference in Accra or after the transitional government were put in place, I have no knowledge of it. Because NPP were never deprived of participating in the election. NDPL were never deprived of participating in the election. The two-way party was never deprived of taking part in election, 1997 election. So I don't know which one you're talking about.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to leave it there.
Everybody was allowed to take part. Everybody. But if your party failed to nominate you as a candidate, you don't pose blame on the entire nation. Why should you be denied when your party was allowed to take part? Who did the selection for your party? So I have no knowledge of somebody being deprived, and if we're informed, we're going to stand against it.
Okay. Thank you, Sheikh. Once again, folks, we are well over halfway mark in today's show. We got probably another 30 minutes or so left into the show. So if you haven't had a chance to ask your question, make your comment, or express your concern, please dial *61. We are still here. We'll open up your line. Sheikh will be generous enough to address your concern, comment, or question. A few other housekeeping issues. If you want to listen to a repeat broadcast of this show after today, please dial 559-726-1299, and then dial the same access code that you dial to come onto the show. That will give you access to a repeat broadcast of the show immediately after the show today. And as of tomorrow, the show will be up on YouTube, just like many of our other shows. I'll make sure to upload this on YouTube tonight so you may have access to it. Tomorrow, as usual, our usual programming every Sunday night, we will be hosting Abdullah Kiatamba tomorrow with his Immigrant Community Services. They want to talk about some of the things that are going on within the immigrant community. We'll be hosting them tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central, so we invite you to tune into that. Lastly, Mr. Lasso, if you stay on, you have follow-up question, by all means, you may dial *61. But you just have to keep it brief so we can accommodate other people. And I've texted you my number already. If you didn't have it, call me after the show so we can talk about personal issues. I'll take the next caller. Thank you. 1210-1210. Please tell us your name, where you're calling from, and your question for Sheikh Coney. 1210-1210.
Hello?
Hello. Your name, where you're calling from, and your question.
Okay, this is Isaac Zaolo, and I'm calling from Maryland, in the United States. Well, basically, I don't have a question. I just wanted to commend Chief Conant for his position and the courage to come on this forum. Okay. I do share his position. I just wanted to commend him. I want to say to him that had I not, strongly believed that Jesus was the Son of God, just by his disposition here tonight, would have converted me to Islam. He is a man of truth. He's a man of courage. He's a man who stands by principle, who is not only concerned about his life here on earth, but what happens in the afterlife. Liberia has seen many things, and what is most important for Liberia are some of those things that Chief Conant outlined tonight. Rehabilitations of our youth, education, empowerment of our young people, fighting against corruption, destruction of the system that undermine progress in our country, the American-Liberian and the indigenous problems. So I just want to commend him for being a man of faith who will speak exactly what his the leader of his faith has taught him. So I say thank you to you, and that you are not alone. You have a lot of us, who share your position, and within the coming months, we will in this crusade to educate our Liberian people to some of the things of the TRC. Lastly, I just wanted to say that besides those things outlined by Chief Conant tonight, I also wanted to say that the work of the TRC did not even represent a group that was interested in peace and reconciliation. The infighting of the TRC undermined the credibility of that institution. And if I had the authority, I would ask that the members of the TRC refund to the Liberian people every penny that was given to them in terms of salary. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was a commendation. If you care to comment on that, you are more than welcome. Otherwise, we'll move on. Are you going to comment on that, Sheikh, or just continue?
No, just go on. Let me give chance to people to talk.
All right. Before I take the next caller, though, I got one little question of my own. Sheikh, a lot of time when people talk about TRC, I hear the thing that I hear most of the time were, our TRC recommendation. And now I'm left wondering if they were a recommendation, then why is it mandatory that it must be implemented anyway? I mean, if you recommend to somebody, if they were truly a recommendation and not mandate, so why is it banned? Why must it be implemented? Are they really recommendations, or they are mandate?
Reading of law is one thing, and understanding the law is another thing. And that has been the problem in Liberia. English is not our first language. Otherwise, recommendation is done either to an institution or individual or power that may be. And it is the prerogative of that institution or power that be to review and see whether those recommendations are in line, first and foremost, with the Constitution of the country, the statutory law, and the general principle of human rights. If not, then it can be reviewed, it can be revisited and revamped. But because of misunderstanding of the TRC Act, the TRC recommendations should be implemented. And there are things that were misconstrued, and even to the extent that chairman was suspended as a practitioner lawyer to say that the commissioners of the TRC should receive the same remuneration as the justices of the Supreme Court. So they feel that they are empowered with the Supreme Court. And they fail to know that there is provision in the Act that says that the action of the TRC can be reviewed by Supreme Court. So there is only one Supreme Court, there is only one interpreter of the law in the country, that is judiciary. So that was a misunderstanding, even though, the chairman was is a counselor of the Supreme Court, but he did not understand that. And I remember telling him that reading law is one thing and understanding it is another thing. We studied law by apprentice, and some of the apprentice justices of the Supreme Court and Chief Justice, they did well. So that's it.
Thank you, Chef. Thank you. I'll take the next caller. 6105. 6105. Please tell us your name, where you're calling from, and your question for Chef Corner. 6105. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, 6105. You on? Hello? Hello? Zizi? All right. Zizi must not be ready. We'll go back to him later. We'll check with him. Let me 8237, 8237. Please tell us your name, where you're calling from, and your question. And your question for Sheikh Kone.
8237.
Yep, 8237. Your name, where you're calling from, and your question.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. This is Mohammed Dugle, your nephew, from Minnesota.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. How are you, Duke?
Yes. I have certain comment on the TRC report. And on the TRC presentation. My first comment is, how were people called upon to come and tell their story? Was it written to community or to individual? My reason of asking this question is this: there's a public figure in Liberia, and let me be specific. Geo Museum. It is self-evidence that he was the architect of the 1979 crisis. As the Secretary General Progressive.
Is that Joe Mason, you said, right?
Yeah, Joe Mason.
Joe Mason, check.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe Mason, okay.
It is alleged that he was part of the economic sabotage of the Liberian embassy in France. And it is also alleged that he busted the UN embargo on child sale to Greater Liberia by importing petroleum products in Greater Liberia. Why is it that such a public figure was never called upon to come and tell his side of story to the TRC report.
Okay. First question. What's the second one?
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Dukle. Check. So there you go.
Yeah. You know, during the Civil War, there were many rumors. And we could not have addressed ourselves to all the rumors that were heard. And what we did was to send out people to take statements. And we sent people out also to have interview with some of those who were accused but did not. There was no statement against them. And people were invited to attend this, to clarify their own position. Some attended, some did not. But the surprising thing that took place was that those commissioners who were talking about prosecution, they even went out. Somebody who said that he killed more than 20,000 people through AK-47 that were called butt naked. They were unilaterally pardoned by the chairman just because somebody wrote that that man has repented and he's a changed person. So those were some of the things that were happening during the TRC era. And they wanted to use some of us by our noses, and we told them that no, we are too better than that.
Okay. Thank you. Folks,
Yeah.
if you have any follow-up question or comment, by all means, dial *61 and make a come by. 6105, I see you back. Please tell us your name, where you're calling from, and your question for Shaq Corner. 6105.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Anthony Iram Zeze. I'm calling from. Yep, thank you. I'm calling from Minnesota. Let me begin by giving you thanks for your show, as usual. I think you are doing a wonderful job. I also want to give thanks to your guest, Mr. Kwame, for accepting to come on your show to realize me to all why he refusing to sign this document. Mr. Kwame, I don't want to say thank you so much. That was good on your side. I've been off and on. I'm just sorry for that. I'm on the freeway driving, and maybe that's why it was happening. I know that most of the decisions we take it can be guided by our faith, and I really enjoy your introductory remarks. And one of the reasons why I believe in everybody is because for some reason God never planned in us any evil. There are good things in every religion. I'm a student of religion. I did religion, and that's why I can easily get connected to everybody. But based on your guiding principles, even for what I know about Muhammad, a good prophet that we ever existed on the planet Earth, he commissioned the fellow to do for the least of these and stand for the truth. And the truth shall set you free. The same way in the book of the Bible also talk about that. Now, one of the highest jobs on planet Earth is becoming part of people that believe in peace, and which of course you did. In fact, you did not just you were not just a member; you were the chairperson. And I believe
not only a member.
No, he was not a chairperson. Jerome Friday was a chairperson. No.
Okay.
He was a commissioner. He was one of the commissioners.
Oh, you were the commissioner. Okay, you were the commissioner. Okay, I'm sorry for that. Okay. All right. Now, but from what I saw on the text message, it said Mr. Kwana is of the opinion that the report cannot and should not be implemented. And I know that money and resources was put into this commission. And the fight that they have not been sound. Today, the country is fragile. There's no peace in that country. Believe me or not, you and myself can sit down and laugh with each other, but there's something deep down in our heart that is not really out yet. And I love the country so much. I do love Liberia. A friend of mine called me and said, my man, the real revolution have not come to Liberia yet. And Mr. Connell, I do respect you a lot. Your name is at stake. To be honest with you, you were given one of the greatest jobs to do on planet Earth. I don't believe in lot of resume that I work here. I believe in accomplishment. The commission that will put a lot of money in have not been accomplished. Now, apart from all what you have just said, is there no other way out that we can have independent commission to be set up for review and final recommendation? Because we have seen not just TRC report, we have seen other countries that pass through the same thing Liberia passed through. We saw Rwanda, all right? Rwanda only commission may have been different, and the approach probably was different. But it works for them. Today, all those that committed crime against humanity, they are coming up confessing to the family member, we are sorry, because the report was great. Now, Rwanda is coming out to be one of the best countries on planet Earth. But Liberia now, there's a threat. So is there no other way? That's part of this thing that they made undermine our constitution. In fact, such a commission, sometimes we get rid of the constitution, to be honest with you, and make sure that peace comes. Because that's the main reason for TRC. Okay, that's the main reason. No, I'm going to let. Oh, you got me off from what I wanted.
No. Go ahead. Stay open. Just got to.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, now, is there no other way? Is there no other way?
That question, you've said that question more than 3 times. Is there no other way that the report can be reviewed and be made workable? Is that the question? Because there was so much money put into it, right?
And not just the money, because right now, today, I used to be a mental health practitioner. Right now, today, most of my clients, what they tell me in the past have been, look, the reason why I am like this today is because of what happened to me in the past. And we see people in the street of Monrovia, the entire Liberia. They know people that committed atrocity against them. These very people are now riding car and they are being guided by soldiers.
We are very tight on time here. So what is the question? Yeah. The question is, we found this being signed by you. If you have to sign it, what it means to me is we wasted money, and you are the only one that being obstacle to peace. Returning to Liberia. It's not the only one, by the way. It was not the only one.
Thank you. But let me say this to you. We did not refuse to sign the TRC report. We refused to sign the fictitious report, the report that does not represent the reality of the hearings. So that's why we reduce our dissenting opinion into writing, sign it, and gift to the chairman and his co-hosts to make it as an integral part so that it will give you the opportunity to read both views. I'm entitled to my view. And when you talk about threats, no threats can put fear in me. This is why April 14, I was in Liberia. I never went anywhere. April 12, I was here. I never went anywhere. November 12, I was here. I never went anywhere. When the war came, I was here. And I even traveled to all the world factor area, including Charles Taylor. I went there and met Charles Taylor and spoke my heart to him. I was not afraid of anything because I believe one thing, that my destiny has been decided by God. But besides that, you talk about criticism. Jesus was criticized. Muhammad was criticized. And I'm follower of these two people. Should I be afraid of criticism? No. I'm not afraid.
Thank you.
And we did not object to the entire report. I've said repeatedly those provisions that contravene our Constitution, our statutory law, and United Nations Charter. Those are the things that we went against them. And we will never support them. But we signed our report, our part of the report, and give it to them. But they were afraid. They were afraid of making our report a part and parcel of the general report.
Okay.
I hope you get me clear.
Yeah. Thank you. Zizi, I see you've made a return, but it's going to be a while. We've got so many people lined up here. Sam, I got two more pressings, and I'll get to you. Please bear with me. Let's take our first female caller for the night. 1826. I'm going to let you call your own name here. Congratulations. 1826, your name, where you calling from, and your question for Sheikh Connie.
My name is Kotumu Kamara. I'm calling from Minnesota, Minneapolis. And Mr. Sheikh Kafumba, welcome to the forum. And I must commend you for your hard work in our country. First of all, my problem with the TRC is, like Kafumba was saying, it's a recommendation. If you recommend something to somebody who don't want it, then, let it be. And we're talking about this TRC so much on this show that I didn't even think that I had a question. But I just have one question. How do you think the TRC can be made better? Because, like the last caller was saying, there are a lot of money and effort really wasted into the TRC. And do you have any example, like real-world example, saying that, okay, this is what happened in this country, and this is how I want it to be? Those people, their TRC, what they are doing is following the law and the guideline and principle, religious, everything of the country. So this is how I think it should be done. Because I really like the seven recommendations you listed. It makes a lot of sense. So that's my question. I don't want to make a lot of comments before we keep out.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kotumu Kamara. Congratulations. Kotumu graduate next week from the University of Minnesota, a master's degree. She's a regular caller here, so we'd like to congratulate her. Congratulations, Kotumu Kamara. We will be at the graduation. Sorry, Sheikh. Go ahead.
Yeah. Congratulations, Kotumu.
Thank you.
I said that the TRC report was not discredited in its entirety. For example, one of the things that were recommended was the rewriting of the history of this country. Because those who wrote with prejudice. And so the rewriting of the Constitution, of the history of Liberia, the process is going on now. Even people came from America and some parts of the world to come. They have been designated to do so, and Liberians are given the opportunity to share their experience and their historical understanding of Liberia to this community. And we believe that when that is done, it's part of the the recommendations of the TRC. And so there are many things that have been done. The Constitutional Review Committee is in place, even though we have not been represented in that. Like somebody talk about the Constitution, the amendment of the Constitution. You have two reverends to see how prejudicial is the government. You got all the 7 members, they are all Christian with the exception of one person, Sokovi Sako. And out of the 7, 2 are reverends. President Ellen Johnson said he did not see it logical either to leave the commission without reverends or to include the traditional leader and religious leader, Islamic leaders on that commission. Those are the kind of open prejudice being operated in this country. So, entire TRC report was not. But those that were in violation of the Constitution, the statutory law, and the general accepted principle of the universal human rights, those are the things that we rejected, and those are the things that we will continue to advocate never to be implemented.
Okay. Are you done, Chef?
Yeah.
Yeah, Chef, let me before I take the next caller here though, just reading the line between what the last caller, Kotumu Kamara, said and the caller before that, Zizi said. The question that I formulated between, I like to ask between those two callers' questions is that is there any way we can move forward with the TRC report? What needs to be done right now? What needs to be ratified? What needs to be taken out so the rest of it, because you have a document that is saturated with a lot of good things. So if there are some tiny little things that are not good enough, can we remove those out of it and make the rest of the document work? Is that a possibility?
The possibility is there, even though the TRC is no longer existing. But the Independent Human Rights Commission that is supposed to take the work after the TRC is in place. If anybody wants to see that the TRC report that is not in line, in fact, there was a lawyer who came and filed a declaratory judgment in the Supreme Court exonerating him from that, and that was done. You understand? So the Independent National Commission of Human Rights is there. They can go there and then advocate for the implementation of those things that are implementable and for the correction of those things that need to be corrected.
Okay, thank you. Folks, we've been here close to 2 hours, so we are really tight on time. For the rest of you waiting to ask questions, I ask that you keep it brief, and so that the Sheikh will have equal answers, so we'll let him out of here. It's getting pretty late in Liberia. Senor, I got one more person before you. I promise I'll get to you soon. 6929, 6929, your name, where you calling from, and your question for Sheikh Connie. 6929.
Mr. Moderator, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Okay, my name is Clarence Gono, and I'm calling from Philadelphia.
Welcome, Mr. Gono.
Okay, my question to Sheikh Connie is this. I was a little bit concerned about when he talked about restorative justice, and I was thinking, how do you restore justice in a state of nature? For instance, I believe that what took place in Liberia was in a state of nature completely, where you had chaos. How do you restore justice in chaos? Then, secondly, he talked about the war had two parts. One was unjust war, like another one was just war. So, will he specifically tell us which part of the war was just and which one was unjust? I mean, I know the Liberia war had maybe three phases. So, which one of them was unjust and which one was just? So, I really want to know that because it's very important to people who want to hear. Very, very important to us.
Thank you, Mr. Gondo.
I know
Thank
you are a Christian. I know Gondo, you may come from Senegal because, you know, and they are by and large Christians. Your Bible says that do not provoke your child to anger. For over 130 years, Liberians were provoked to anger. And when the PRC took over after April 12 coup, everybody welcomed the idea after coup. But again, the way the government was run was worse than the Tory party. And so when Charles Taylor declared war against Samuel Kanyando, they were welcomed by people. But again, when the atrocity was too much, they were condemned. But despite our condemnation, people were saying there were reasons for war. Because everything was done to see how best Liberian situation can be corrected. It was never corrected. Of course, other people who believe in due process and they are moderate, they believe that we should go ahead, you know, that way until it is done. So there were reasons for wars. The war was unjust. But what happened during the war? The way those who came to say they have come to protect the rights of the people, and those the government that were in place, they were protecting life and property, law and order, were done the wrong way. So this is what that the TRC should have selectively figured out. Those who committed atrocities, those who violated human rights, but not collected guilt. You yourself, there are 5 major groups that period that they play major role in that war. You talk about the Mano, the Madingo, the Kwan, the American Liberian. All 5 of them play major role. But all of them were allowed to take part in the election.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
Okay.
Then you have representation of all segments of our society in the government, in the legislature, in the judiciary, in the foreign service. And people are given the freedom to express their opinion without hindrance, without hamperings. So things are working one way or the other, not 100%, but things are working.
Okay.
So I think you guys are.
All right, Mr. Gono, if you're not satisfied with that, please dial *6 more. We'll go to Senor. Senor made a comeback for a follow-up question, and he's been waiting for a long time. Now, my apologies, Senor. Welcome back to the show. Your brief follow-up question.
No, Brother Kuma, don't apologize. You've been doing great. I mean, I'm so happy to know that through our promotion, people are calling. You know, it's very, very unlikely, but you are doing great. This is our show. We always promote the show. I just want to clarify because I've been accused that, I'm promoting somebody who don't support the implementation of the TRC. And I want to clarify, use the opportunity to clarify. I strongly support the TRC. I have also promised my brother, Kuma, that because I love his show and I respect the work, anytime he asks me to promote any guest, whether I agree or disagree with the guest, I will do my due diligence to him and support him. But I've already been accused of promoting somebody who don't support our idea. but I just want to use the medium to clarify that.
Okay.
So today when the lamb is packed, because I promoted the show on the listserv, and people calling me from all over the country, oh my man, and stuff like that. I just want to clarify that. But let me say this: like Brother Kwema will always say, we can only have one guest. My honest, I have two from the conversation today. I come up with two things: sadness and great regret. I'm sad because.
Hold on. I think we lost Shaq Connor here. Hello, Shaq. Shaq Connor. Yeah, I think your line just dropped again. So yeah, just hold on. Just stay where you are. I'm not gonna close your line or go to someone else. If he does return, I hope you still got enough credit to come finish the show, because I send a lot of credit. You'll come and take the remaining few questions here, and then we will wrap up from there, at least for tonight. Please bear with me as we await the Sheikh return. How about a little break? This is probably a good time for break. Let's listen to a little song while we're
Liberia! It's your day! It's time to party! This is real faith! Doing it for you! I am proud to be a Liberian, and I don't care what anybody go say. I will jump and sing and shout hooray, 'cause today is our Independence Day. Liberia, oh our day. Liberia, we are free. Liberia, number one. Liberia, Liberia, our day. Liberia, we are free. 'Cause today is our day. Liberia now my country, now my motherland. Land I be where them bomb me. That's why I started the hustling. So if you don't know me, don't judge me. We don't want gunshots, we don't want po-po.
I'm gonna get off briefly and call Sheikh.
Let's live in harmony and peace who prevail. So what is right and good, and take our children back to school. Hard work and determination, and we will fail. Economically, strategically, physically, we can make a difference automatically. Let's live in unity, all for one and one for all. I am proud to be a Liberian, and I don't care what anybody go say. I will jump and sing and shout hooray, 'cause today is our Independence Day. Liberia, oh our day. Liberia, we are free. Liberia, number one. Liberia, Liberia. Capable of doing wrong. All we have to do is join hands and sing this song. We are free, Liberia, we are free. Forever we are free. One time when we are, oh man, baby, and if we are not,
Check credit just right now. He's out of credit, and I'm sending him more credit right now. So please bear with us. We're going to take a minute or two, please.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Independence Day, jump and shout hooray. School place where for I am proud to be a Liberian, and I don't care what anybody go say. I will jump and sing and shout hooray, 'cause today is our Independence Day. Liberia. Your day, it's time to party. You know, time to shake that stress off. Forget about the past, it's dead and gone. Now sing with me, let's go. Say whoa, whoa, say whoa, whoa, yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, when I say your body, shake your body. Aye, so bend down, oh, Liberia, bend down, oh. Bend down, oh, Liberia, bend down, oh. So put your hands up, put your hands up, this is for you and the fit, Ajay, Liberia. Liberia, we are free. Liberia, no more war. Liberia, Liberia, our day. Liberia, we are free. Today is our day. Liberia, our day. Liberia, we are free. Liberia, no more war. Liberia, Liberia, our.
They call me again.
You have a very chance. You know you shop.
I own nothing. I own nothing.
I want bitterness, so what got more punishment for them? That ain't been my salad.
Mama. I mean, I'm not Bobo.
The more competition, that's why I'm abrogating. But I can't tell you now how much they are competition. No clap. I clap the audience.
All right, folks, Sheikh is back with us. We've settled that issue. Sheikh, welcome back. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so, Senior, if you want to wrap up, we are really tight on time, so go ahead with your follow-up question, and then I'll take the remaining people in the queue, and Sheikh will make his closing remarks. We'll call it a night. Sheikh has been very generous, with us to have stayed up this late and stay on the show. So, Senior?
Yes, sir. So,
yes,
thank you, Brother Krumah. Yeah, thank you, Brother Krumah. Like I was saying, I have two reactions as I leave in this conference tonight. One with sadness because the honorable guest has contributed to this work, and to hear him, say that because of XYZ, he will not be in a position to support the full implementation of the TRC, and we respect his position. Regret because you, particularly Brother Krumah, and I have worked so hard to get the Honorable Chairman Vodia to appear on our show many times. Sometimes he promised us to come, he never came. But today, as I listen to the Honorable guest, it's almost like an indictment against the Chairman. But as of this meeting, we'll try again to see how the Chairman can come to really clarify some of this stuff, because this is heartbreaking. Having said that, let me close with the question to the Honorable Man. You have the mandate that says, the TRC mandate, page 3, number 8, quote, make recommendations to the government of Liberia for prosecution, reparation, and continue. Then you have on page 294 and page 295 the Virginia Accord that took place on June 19, 2009, with Liberians representing 15 counties all over the place said on 295, recommendation number 6 and number 10. Number 6 said that there be persecution for all perpetrators, and continue to say, number 10 says that perpetrators who committed crimes against humanity should not be elected or appointed for public office. So my question to you, honorable guest, are you seeing what the Liberian people suggested? It's not humanitarian law. It's not in keeping with humanitarian law, or is it not in keeping with Liberian law? Is it something and totally different from human rights law that prosecutors or people who committed crimes against humanity be prosecuted? Is that something outside the ordinary? And thank you for taking my call, Brother Krumah.
Thank you, Brother Senior. Sorry for the long wait.
I told you that the records of the TRC were distorted by Chairman Vadier and his cohorts. We sent people all over the 15 counties. There was statement taken in every town, in every clan, in every chieftain, in every district, in every county. More than 20,000 statements were taken. And when the report of those statements show that the Liberian people, the victims, preferred
dialogue, retributive justice, reconciliation. At the time I went and collected a fingerful, not even handful of people under the pretext that they came from all over Liberia and the Hotel Africa. And
Sheikh, you mean restorative justice? Is that what? Because you said retributive justice, did you mean?
No, restorative justice.
Rest there. That's what I thought you meant.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. The people from the counties where we sent people, where they went and took statements from passing from the house's mouth, the victims, they talk about restorative justice, not retributive justice. The fact is that retributive justice does not give relief to the victims. Restorative justice gives relief to the victims, gives honor to the victim, and rehabilitate the perpetrator so as to make him or her good citizen to make contribution to the society. Retributive justice will not declare the perpetrator guilty and put in jail. They don't care what is the condition of the victims. And I'm from a religious perspective. You tell a poor man or poor woman, yeah, you're right. The perpetrator is guilty. And then they walk on the street begging people. Please give me $5. Please give me $10. What benefit does that prevail? Nothing. But retributive justice look after the victims, rehabilitate and correct the perpetrators to become serviceable to the society. Those so-called perpetrators that you talk about, who elected them? Who elected? For example, who elected Senator Johnson? Who elected what do you call it? This boy, Adolfo Dodo, and this fellow from IGB, who elected them? Senator Johnson too, for presidential Kennedy in 2005, he came number 3. Why the so-called human rights advocates don't come number 4? Some of them don't even got nothing to be presented to the people. So who are you talking about? You say you are representing the people. The people say one thing and you say another thing. Those are some of the things that brought war in this country. And because we used to look at the government as the people's thing, even though it was really the people's thing, but we were referring to those in power, that it belonged to them. And that brought a war, and that made the war shelter. You see, so we got to change from that mentality. Now, they said they are human rights advocates. They don't want somebody to say no when they say yes, or they don't want somebody to say yes when they say no. Then they are human rights. They are wrong. They are human wrong advocates. So, if they were truly human rights advocates, they could have made our dissenting report an integral part of the TRC report, so that not only the people of Liberia, but the international world will read it and they understand who went wrong, who went right.
Okay.
Somebody says a minority. Yes, we are minority, but minority rights supersede majority interests in a democratic society. I'm not talking about the one-way traffic society, but a real democratic society. In a democratic society, rights are inalienable. And interest whims and caprices. They wanted, because some of them wanted to be president, they imposed 30 years ban on people. Where you got that authority from? Huh? Due process. For due process to be applied, that person must be notified of the crime committed. Must be given the opportunity to be heard. Must have judgment of his peer. You know what they got that peer from in our judicial system? Because you have the barricade between the American Liberian and the indigenous Liberian. So when the indigenous Liberian been tried, the indigenous people as a juror, that his or her peer. When the American Liberian be heard, they should bring the American Liberian as jurors. So I beg you, my young man, let us understand and then work for the betterment of this nation. The interest of the nation supersedes everything.
Thank you, Chef. Folks, if you want to stop making entry, I'm going to take in just the 5 more questions out of these here, and then the rest of you, I'm afraid to say, or some of you are follow-up callers, so it's not that you haven't had a chance to ask, but we want to take in 5 more here, and we'll call it a night. Because it's been a great show, and we've been here well over 2 hours now. So 5 more questions, and I'll ask that you please keep it brief so that we can get out of here. 5500-5500. Your name, where you calling from, and your question for Sheikh Corner.
Sheikh, mine is the peacekeeping force. Army.
What's your name? Would you please call your name, sir?
This is Asumana Jabate from New York.
Thank you, Mr. Jabate.
Yes. Manners, the peacekeeping force. Do you think Liberia is peaceful? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think what I would like you to do, Ansumana, I know you to go. Come to Liberia. Travel from Monrovia to Bow Waterside. And travel from here to Ganta, to the border in Guinea, and to Ikepa, to Kipamas, to Grand Gides, and see the number of security on the highways, in the various villages and towns, cities. Look at the number of police of the UN's military forces and so forth, and then make your own judgment. In as much as the United Nations forces are doing very well, and we must appreciate, but it must be construed that the Liberian people are now far-sighted. They are foresighted. They are mature. They have realized that violence cannot solve our problem. It compounds our problems. And this is why from the day the ceasefire was signed in Accra up to now, no one single gun has been fired at anybody as part of disagreement within the factions or among the factions. If you read the comprehensive agreement, all the promises that were made have been fulfilled, with the exception of one. Those who were dispossessed of their properties, United Nations and the transitional government was supposed to repossess them. They failed miserably to do that. I hope you get me clear.
Yeah, we do. Thank you, Sheikh. Yeah, we get in there. We're almost out of here, Check. We'll get you out of here soon. Musa Keita, Rochester, Minnesota. Your follow-up question, please keep it brief. Hello, Mr. Keita?
Yeah, how are you?
Hello, yeah. Well, your follow-up question, please keep it brief.
Okay, thank you very much. Sheikh, this is Musa Keita again, originally from Jacobstown, but presently in Minnesota. Okay, like all of the callers have said, the best thing you think Labrock already enjoyed, because what I observed of recent is that there are some Liberians that are pursuing the issue of justice, the issue of banning people, the issue of taking people to the war crime court. They are Liberians. What is your advice? Because of recent, there was a mass meeting held in Minnesota, of which I did not attend, but I heard about it, I read about it. Liberians in the diaspora are still calling for the prosecution of those that have been placed on the list of prosecution. So what is their advice to those Liberians that are calling for the prosecution and taking Liberians to the case? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Keita.
Thank you. My advice would be to them that they should be mindful of what they're doing, because if those principles are held as human rights violators, those who were supporters, sympathizers of and financiers of these people, they too can be charged of aiding and abetting. But another thing that we also talk about, in the act of the TRC, the commissioners were given the power to declare certain portions of the report as confidential and put in escrows for 20 years. We, in our dissenting report, felt that two issues could have been that. Those who will be recommended for prosecution be placed in there, in the escrow, and those rape issue. Okay, if you tell an husband that your wife was raped by these fighters, eventually you have broken down that marriage. And the TRC was designed to bring about national peace, unity, security, and happiness. So instead of doing that, you will be doing the opposite. So, and the rationale behind that 20-year in escrow was to make sure that Liberia's fragile peace, fragile democracy, fledgling democracy are nurtured, sustained, before you talk about prosecution. Just, you are in America. You got access to the World Communication Network. We live in an era of communication, the era of education. Go to Cambodia, how many years now before they started prosecuting people? But because some people don't want peace in this country, they want our fragile peace to remain shaken. That's why they wanted immediate arrest and persecution of the people, so that their men and women can join the bush again in the bushes to start fighting. When the Accra Comprehensive Agreement was prepared and signed, one of the things that was said that they should do as party, I want you to check Article 12, Human Rights. It says the parties agreed that the basic civil and political rights enunciated in the Declaration and Principles of the Human Rights adopted by the United Nations, African Union, ECOWAS, in particular, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the African Charter on Human Rights and People's Rights, and as contained in the laws of Liberia, should be fully guaranteed and respected within Liberia. Those who had gone, they were the people that were making that promise that they would do it. And the one B, these basic civil and political rights include the rights of life and liberty, freedom from torture, the right to a fair trial, freedom of conscience, expression, association, and the right to take part in the governance of one's country. All those will make as a part and parcel of the agreement. And the parties adhere to those things. Those things will put there that in the event of violating any of these things, the immunity that's supposed to be given to them will be dissolved and they will be prosecuted. But I adhere to it. They respect it. You want us, the commission now, to be the violator of the people's rights when it comes to fair trial, impose 30 years ban on people that were never given the opportunity to be heard, and United Nations trial. How many years Charles Taylor make it in jail before his case was called? What happened to Father Sanko? How many years he spent in jail and he died without being heard? Those are human rights violations. When you people can't talk, we as a religious leader can talk. The United Nations War Crime Code is the code that violates people's rights. Because they keep people in jail for so many years. When they keep people in jail in the member country for months, they will say they are violating the human rights. It's a prisoner in member state jail different from a prisoner in United Nations jail? No, they're all equal. Even in America you live, did they sign that War Crime Code document? Do they agree for their soldier to go there? No. They think why you're saying you're learning the backbone of democracy. They think why you're not talking there, you're not learning there. They talk about, why you don't talk about George Bush going to War Crime Code? Why you can't talk about that? The number of people killed in Iraq. At the end of the day, they said the man got chemical weapon and all these kind of weapons. What happened? Bush came and he and his chief of staff, all of them said they were misinformed. They were misled. So what happened to the people who killed them? Tony Blanche, you can't talk about them. That Liberia, you will talk about them, you say, my life is threatened. Me, I'm not afraid of death. I can die anytime.
All right, Sheikh, let's leave it there. Professor Daniel Mayer, please keep it brief. We are really out of time. I don't know how much I can stress this. Professor Daniel Mayer, welcome back to the show. Your follow-up question.
Yeah, thank you, Kumar. Look, number one, quick question, Mr. Conant. One, before the people take the oath,
were there written some type of disclaimer that whatever they say cannot be used against them in the court of law? That's number one. Number two, given all what you have said, Mr. Connor, Dr. Connor, I think your appearance today didn't do much justice. There are a lot of Liberians who would like to hear you. Is it possible for us to find a better forum where we will galvanize support from all the Liberians in the diaspora to have you say what some of the things you just said today? Will you be available? Can you make yourself available for us again?
Oh, I'm available, provided you are prepared to come to Liberia so that you can see with your own eyes. You will not be commenting on hearsay or this say. Come to Liberia. We will join you to travel all over this country. Ask the people their views. You want government of the people, by the people, for the people. That the people will must prevail. The people say this is what they want. Should we say no? Don't take it. And you say, what are people who were asked to make statement that they make statement, and if that statement is correct, will that be used against them? What the perpetrators? The perpetrators were not given the opportunity to be heard. First to cross-examine people. This is what I'm talking about. Just some of them were allowed to go there flamboyantly and just to make decoration. That's all. Okay. But people who accuse them should have been allowed to question them. But they refused. I tell you, the chairman refused. Only one person in a fish town were allowed to confront with his accuser. And without even process of law, the lady whose husband was killed by this man, she forgave the man. And the chairman, as a counselor at law, don't even take into consideration the process of pardoning people, the process of exoneration. He compelled all of us, we travel to the village where that man comes from and free him. Then the man who said he killed 20,000 people. Up to now, they got Juju hanging in the executive mansion. He unilaterally pardoned him. Is that what we call democracy? Is that what we call justice? Person who admit, he said, I killed 20,000 people from the day Samuel Kanyado took over this country up to now. We even took the flag of Liberia and went and buried it in Putu Mountain. They were exonerated. Then who you think that cannot be exonerated?
I think the second part of his question was what are the oath he took? The second part of the question had to do with oath taking.
Now I'm saying those who are supposed to take oath, that whatever statement they give during the hearing, they talk about the perpetrators, not the victims. That the perpetrators' admission statement will not be used against them in the court. I'm saying only few were allowed to testify, and those testimonies that they gave were out reviewing their testimony without challenging their testimony by a rebutted evidence the chairman and his co-host unilaterally declared their statement as falsehood. Judge and jury at the same time. Should I be part of that? No, man. I have done for this country what I think was right. And so I should not allow my reputation to be associated with that kind of bogot report and recommendation. That's why I did not stop there. I put into writing.
Okay. Hello, Shaq?
Yeah?
Yeah, okay. Thank you. We just got two more persons left here. Folks, you really got to be quick.
I hope you will not go more than two because I'm
just two. No, just two. I promise you, I'm not taking any more than two.
Okay.
This is Gondo. They are all repeat caller. Mr. Gondo, please keep it brief. Please keep it brief. We've been here well over 2 hours, so this is just a courtesy. So keep it brief. Mr. Gondo, welcome back to the show. Your follow-up question. Hello? Mr. Gondo?
Yes, hello.
Hello, yeah, your follow-up question. Please keep it brief.
Yes, anyway, this is the new guy.
New guy. Okay, 6929. Then what's your name then? What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Johnson Taylor. I'm actually calling from Upper Darby, Pennsylvania.
Okay, well, welcome. Welcome to Awali. Welcome to the show. What's your question?
Okay. First of all, I just want to thank Mr. Conan for the effort that he's taking. And, I really appreciate it. But I only have two questions to ask. And one of my questions is that, for me, actually, I do want to know, what actually is your intention towards the TRC, whether if we're only looking at reviewing the report of the TRC or restoring the TRC. That's one.
Okay. Two. What's the second one?
Oh, okay. The second one is, as we know, the TRC, the investigation of the TRC is complete. And when from the result of the TRC, a lot of people have not heard or have nothing, they are not aware of the report. So the investigation went on, and after that, those people that were accused, was it not necessary that those people either be for those who within the government to be expelled and to have those people either bound from government offices, instead they still have those people, and it's something where, as you said, we need justice.
Okay.
We need justice.
Is that it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead. Would you just like me to take the second one, then you can just answer both of them together? Would that be all right?
Yeah. When you talk about the TRC report, there's no need of resurrecting the TRC commission or reviewing there is an institution that is responsible for human rights violation in this country. There's a commission, and that commission is charged with the responsibility of monitoring, supervising, and carrying out the implementation activities of the TRC report. And they, being lawyers and people of human rights, advocates, they will look into them, and those things that are
implementable, they will ask the implementation for that. And those not implementable, they will say that those things should not be implemented. And what was the second question? What was the second question?
Well, the second question was pretty much centering around don't you think we need justice? And I guess I guess when he was driving, I hope I'm correct. I had a similar question in mind that. So let's say if people are now persecuted in Liberia for their roles in the just ended war. So what message are we sending to them, to the future generations? Check. What are we telling our children? That it is okay to wage war on Liberia at will and get away free and be elected to the next highest position? Is that the message we are sending?
Well, many of the people who are in the government were elected.
Yes, they were.
By the people who claim to be victims.
Okay.
So it implies that those victims who voted for warring factions appreciate the effort that they made, and that was part of the reconciliation process during the Accra conference. Everybody should be given the freedom to canvass. Let the people make decisions. Not few people should sit down and make decisions for people.
Okay.
And if you think that your rights were violated, you can go to court. If you can establish your case, you will get redress in accordance with law. But we don't want to be part of those who will make the world to lose confidence in the international community. The Accra Comprehensive Peace Accord were not only signed by the warring factions, the political parties, the interest groups, but were witnessed. I was the first witness on that document. Were witnessed by Manda River Union, ECOWAS, AU, United Nations, European Union, United States, and all these people witnessed it. Now, after the people comply with the terms and conditions of the agreement, for me to sit down to say, okay, let us forget about that. Let us start doing this thing without following the thing, because even the TRC Act, when it was drafted, it was submitted by Transitional Assembly that came from these groups. They approved it, and they say those kind of controversial recommendations should be used as confidential and kept in escrow for 20 years. So nobody exonerated the warring faction, but to give a breathing space, to give a nurturing space, to give a sustaining space to our fledgling democracy and peace. Every law has its own logic. And the logic behind the Accra Comprehensive Agreement, the TRC Act, was to give enough space to the Republic of Liberia, an opportunity for nurturing and sustaining the democracy that is emerging and peace that is being enjoyed by people.
Okay. We got the last caller here. So before I take I'll just take the last caller check, and then when I do, you can begin your closing remark. In the process of that, maybe you can just throw light on whatever our last caller has to say. So before I do so, before we take the last caller and before the Sheikh begins his closing remark, I do like to thank Brother Senior and also apologize to him for the accusation labeled against him as having promoted something that many of his friends do not believe in. But we have to learn to respect disagreement, divergence of view. It's not that you agree with what's been said, but I think it is well within our learning process, well within democratic values that we accommodate every view. As far as the TRC, I don't have any position on it, but to Senior and to those of your friends who are accusing you for having promoted, a dissenting view from what we've been hearing on this show. I say to them, it is your right to defend the next person to say what he wants to say. So my apologies to you. It wasn't intended for that. And once again, if you want to listen to repeat broadcasts of tonight's show, please dial 559-726-1299, access code 908209, and the pound sign. Better yet, I'll make sure this show is uploaded on YouTube tonight, so it should be available on YouTube tomorrow morning, sometime tomorrow. So with that said, I will take the last caller, and I would like Sheikh begin his closing remark, and in the process, I'm sure you'll throw light on what our last caller has to say. So, Zizi, please keep it brief. We are really out of time. Please keep it brief. Zizi, welcome back to the show. Your follow-up question, your brief follow-up question.
Okay, yeah, because of the timing, probably I will just make a statement. This is Anthony Zeze. I'm going to break protocol here to call Honorable Kone, nephew Kone. You're my nephew, anyway, by the way. That's a tradition I want for Liberia to continue with. And I know as a result of the war, some of these traditions are now breaking away. But let me just say sorry for the death of your family and relatives. I lost in the war. I know I heard your opening remarks from the beginning. I know you probably lost more than I do, but we all actually had some negative effect as a result of the war. And there are others probably who don't even have family today. There are other families that were wiped away. They are no longer existing on planet Earth. There are others who don't even have nephew, uncle, or son or daughter. It's as a result of these people. I know you are speaking from the human rights perspective, which of course I do respect a lot. It's as a result of these people that you became part of the commission set up to advocate for them. I'm not asking no more questions, but I just trying to appeal to you, or nephew. I want to appeal to you. So please look at it again all over. It's as a result of these people that if you look at the 5 pillars of Quran, Muhammad talking about zakat, he's not just talking about giving to the poor. He's talking about standing for the poor, standing for the least of these. I really love, and I like that 5 pillar. I do, to be honest with you. And to be giving such a big commission to be accomplished and left it fragile like that, it's not good. It would have been better for us not to have a commission in the first place than to have it and we don't accomplish it. The reason is this. It's like you want to kill the snake and you hit the head of the snake. You are unable to kill the snake, then the snake becomes dangerous. If there are not going to be that commission, justice commission, today we'll not be talking like this. Probably we're going to move forward. But the fact that the commission was set up and recommendations were made, and people around Liberia, around the world, heard about those. It's not accomplished. Okay, yeah, it's not accomplished. I think it's a serious problem. So I want you to please, nephew, please, we can find ways for us to move forward. But at least finding ways so that we can have peace in Liberia. I'm not putting the entire thing on your shoulder, but we can't just cut it there. It's not good. So please, I'm just appealing to you. because your recommendation will be well respected than anybody's recommendation. So if you can find another solution, that would be great. Thank you so much, and nice having a dialogue with you today. And thank you, Mr. Kuma, as well.
Thank you, Zizi. Hold on, Sheikh, hold on. Say up quickly.
Yeah, no, Brother Kuma, thank you so much. I just wanted to declare, don't apologize. I think while it's true that I respect my friends, I respect the view, but don't apologize. I mean, this is what we need in Liberia. Because I disagree doesn't mean that I won't support you if I declare to support you. So no, let people accuse me, but at least let it be known that I still support the TRC. I think it's the best thing for Liberia, and I believe with all my heart, one day if Liberia has a president who has a moral and political will, a TRC will be implemented, no matter who says or who doesn't agree or who agrees. But Liberia will be free because the TRC is the best thing forward. I want to thank the honorable guest for his services to Liberia. We appreciate everything they do. And after them, we are coming, and we will come with a better Liberia because Liberia deserves better. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. So, Sheikh, you will begin your closing remark, and if you care to. Yeah, thank you, Sheikh.
Thank you. You know, Brother Fumba, we must accept Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is reported to have said, "Al-ikhtilaf rahma," meaning diversity, divergence is hefty. You can learn from me, from my perception, from my view, and I can learn from your view and perception that are different from mine. And so, when you go to speak to public, like what we are doing now, and you expect that everybody will praise you, everybody will appreciate you, everybody will agree with you, then you are going with wrong notion. God sent Nabila Isa and sent Nabila Muhammad. People disagree with them. That means senior people will not disagree with me. I'm not a politician. And all those who, if you ask our indigenous people to defy the word politics, they will tell you lies, misinformations, frauds, cheating, and defrauding, and so forth. They got no actual meaning for politics. And that's how politics is being run in this country. The late President Thomas said no honesty in politics. And we don't want to be anything that there's no honesty. Let space be a space, and let diamond be a diamond. When I talk about the healing, we have come out with a concept paper we call it Bridges, Not Walls. Inshallah, with our health condition permit us, we will start that program where we will talk about healing the wounds inflicted on the people as a result of the war, reconciling the differences, reunifying the divided communities and the divided people so that we can all together rebuild our nation on solid ground. You cannot do away with tribal loyalties and allegiance, but you must not allow your tribal loyalties and allegiance to operate at the expense of our national loyalties and allegiance. This is what we are saying, bridges, not walls. And this is what we intend to carry out throughout the land and the birth of Liberia. We want the Muslims to come together. We want the Christians to come together. We want the tribal people to come together. We want the various tribal group to come together. And we want all of us to come together as one nation. We should go beyond peaceful coexistence. You live in America. Sometimes you have 10, 20 people in one building with various apartments. But you don't know about one another.
So we want to transform, to transcend beyond peaceful coexistence to harmonious coexistence. Because when we live in harmony, we will know the conditions of one another. Our aspirations, our respective aspirations and concerns will be known, and we'll care for one another. We don't want it to be a one-way traffic of be your brother's keeper. We should be one another's keeper. You keep mine and I keep yours. That's balanced citizenship. This is what we want. And when you are blessed, or if any nation is unfortunate to witness and experience war, but you are blessed as citizens of that nation to live, to survive that war, you should emerge from that war with a renewed sense of commitment and sense of direction. This is what we want Liberians to emerge from our petty jealousies, our jealousy in bad faith, our tribal differences, our sectional differences. Let us see ourselves, as we say in the slogan, Liberia, one nation with one destiny. Liberians, one people with one destiny. May God bless Liberia and bless all Liberians.
Thank you. Thanks, Sheikh. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation, and not only honoring the invitation, for coming on to stay on for as long as you have. I'm truly honored, and I believe my guests are. So I want to thank all of our guests who took up time to come listen to Sheikh Corner tonight. I knew you would. That's why I invited him in the first place. But I promise you, this is just the beginning. It's not the end. Obviously, Sheikh, there are a lot of subjects that Sheikh can speak to. As you notice, someone has started talking about the issue of making Liberia a Christian nation. Who better to engage in that conversation than Sheikh? But I said tonight, show was mainly for the TRC. So hopefully in the near future here, we'll tap into Sheikh knowledge again with respect to other issues in Liberia. So with that said, I want to thank everyone, and we'd like to call it a night. Sheikh needs to go to bed. It's pretty late in Liberia, as I imagine. So Sheikh, thank you. Have a wonderful night, and I will call you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks to God, and thank you too for inviting me on your program. And I'm willing at any time you call up for me, we will respond. That's our duty, and we are obliged to do it.
Thank you, Sheikh. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.